Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
This class is Information, Communication, and Society. Okay, this class is for Information, Communication, and Society. In our BLIS, we studied about meta document, about classification, about cataloging, about some parts of indexing. We knew the technique of how to reach up to the document. Okay, and in MLI, we will study about information, about about knowledge, about data, and things like that. Because we are now going to be knowledge professional or information professional. Two class has been two class have been allotted to me, and we have to complete as good as 16 chapters. Okay, so we have to go. Anybody listening? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ah, so we have to go detail or important one. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Ah, Bharat. I think it is Bharat.
Yes, sir. Yours?
Ah,
Yes, sir.
ah. ଆମେ ଡିଟେଲ ଯିବା ନା ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟରେ ଯିବା? भारत
सर बीच में वॉइस ब्रेक हो रही है कोई किसी का माइक ऑन है तो सर इसलिए वो प्रॉब्लम हो रही है थोड़ी सुनने में।
ओ हम डिटेल में जाएंगे या इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक में जाएंगे?
सर डिटेल में चले जाते हैं।
डिटेल में डिटेल में जाएंगे, ठीक है। सो फर्स्ट चैप्टर इज इंफॉर्मेशन, nature, property, and scope. This is the book one. And in unit one, we are to study about data, information, knowledge, and intellectual asset. What about it? Okay. Up from primitive days to present society, information has been a component of growth and improvement of living standard. Okay. From ancient time to present day, throughout the human history, information has been very vital for development of, of human civilization. Okay. Sunita,
Yes,
कौन
sir.
कौन हाँ कौन कौन ओके ओके and being aware of the fact that the sweeping change taking place in society, libraries are making serious effort to gear themselves to meet the new challenges of handling servicing information. You see, in the ancient time, there was also library, but the job of librarians were to take the custody of, take the care of document. Okay, it was previously clay tablets, then papyrus, then your palm leaf, now papers. Okay, after the printing machine invented in 16th century, the growth of knowledge Okay, the growth of knowledge and its dissemination become rampant, and librarian from custodian of document emerged as specialist of information. It happened not overnight. You see, before it is 35 years, I think, 25 years. So library science, though library information science concept was not there. Since information took the central and pivotal part in developing human history and civilization and affecting the human culture also. The word information was incorporated in our study, and we are now studying library and information science. Otherwise, it was archival science. Okay. And focused on classification and cataloging of books. We, we shifted our focus for collection development. We shifted our focus for studying user information seeking behavior and how information can be disseminated to right person. It was the job of the library. And we are also going to try on it. Okay. To see all societies, maybe ancient, maybe India, medieval, and modern, creation of knowledge, innovation, and invention have been all came out of human environment. Okay, by which growth of new knowledge take place and information has occupied now is central position of human development. Okay, value and importance of information is like that. Information has taken the central and pivotal role in enhancement of human society. Okay, the beat or factors of information today is like research and development, that is R&D, and fusion of science and technology. Okay, and science and technology and societal information, information technology, information demand, power shift, information network, and all. Okay, let us see research and development, how this factor is contributing the information to this one. Okay, it is information and knowledge only that transform the non-resources into value-added economic resources. Okay, suppose yesteryears or yesterdays it was a non-resource, its value was nothing for a matter, and it becomes value-added economic resource only after knowledge is utilized. You see, the use of coal in 1800, in 1800, it was used to heat home. Okay, it was used to heat home, and before 1800, the use was unknown. Okay, it coal was used to heat homes, trains, ships, and day by day it was used for fuel. Okay, and information gathered, knowledge on coal become study. Then now from coal we are getting electricity. In Western countries, creation of institutions exclusively research and development in last century made the information growth more rampant, more speed. Okay, last years, example, in ancient time, research and development are solely individual, solely personal. There is no institution to undertake research and development. Now they are government institution, corporate sector. Okay, they are taking the step, they are taking the bonus of creating new knowledge. They are going to take all the endeavor in development of new knowledge. For example, university is an institution. For example, in Bhubaneswar, Regional Research Laboratory is an institution. Institute of Physics is an institution. That institution are taking the onus of developing new knowledge, new thing using the available information. Okay, this is the context of research and development. Otherwise, for example, study about iron. Nobody can personally institute a iron laboratory. It is personally impossible. It is institution that can provide the facility to researcher, to scientists to use information and their knowledge towards study and development in higher research. Second is fusion of science and technology. Okay, it was for a long time science has been grown independently without relation to technology. You see, it was merely conceptual and theoretical. When classifying a book, you must be aware of the fact that what is science and what is technology. In DDC, it is 500 science, that is pure science, and 600 it is technology. So, what is the difference between science and technology? You have to know. Science is purely conceptual and theoretical thing. The formula, the theory, it is taught in science and learned in pure science. But that theory, if it is used to benefit of human, benefit of man, and making easy the human labor, it is technology. For example, it was typewriter. It is mechanical thing. Okay. And technology was put to made the computer. And the day-to-day work and the repetitive work, it becomes very easy. Okay? Day-to-day work and repetitive work, it becomes easy. In this way, fusion of science and technology even provided the space for information growth. Okay? Then Daniel Bell, you might be might have heard of Daniel Bell, the name, who, who advocate the intellectual technology, means it which constitute a set of algorithms that are embodied in a computer program to represent a normalization of judgment. Their routine application to many situations is becoming predominant in the management of organization and enterprise. Okay. Okay. After that, science and technology and social information. Okay. You see, in case of science and technology and social information, the society related information like sociology, political science, economic, sociological development, demographic study, occupational study, health, legal study, regulatory and environmental information, environmental information to provide complete information universe. Development is said to be merely cultivating the physical resource and human engagement. You see, human resource was unknown. There are many resources. One is physical resources, natural resources, and human resources. In order to manage a company, in order to manage a institution, in order to manage even a library, will be seeing man, money, material is required. Okay. Or reverse you can say money, material and manpower is required. Okay. And out of all these, manpower is the vital item. Okay. And it is the information, it is the knowledge of a particular person that makes him a resource person. Okay. This is how human resource become the dominant of all the resources. For example, there is a gold mine, but there is no human resource to manipulate those mines to extract gold. Is there any meaning of that? No, certainly not. There are there is a huge collection. There is a huge collection of books, but if there is not a good librarian to manage all that, has it any value? I don't think it has any. Will be knowing that Stalin State Library of US is an USSR that that was closed because it could not be managed. Okay. Then information technology. Information technology has revolutionized information processing, storage, dissemination, and distribution. Okay, and this is the vehicle. Information technology has been the vehicle of generating, accumulating, and transmitting information. Then information on demand. How information on demand become a phenomenon. You see, many factors like in, many factors are responsible for demand of information and increasing demand of information. The factors are growth of population. Growth of population requires information and knowledge. For example, you see, if there is a private hostel and there is 3, 4 inmates are there, you may not need a person to manage that. But for hostels, you definitely need a hostel superintendent to manage that. This is a growth of population that invites all the problem and possibilities for use of information and knowledge, for generation of information. Okay, the growth of population that give birth to greater complexity of administration. When population grows, their administration is required, and complexity of administration is morely required. Then social differentiation and recognition, it is another factor. Then development of group last interest factor. Moreover, technological innovation needs of inventors and entrepreneurs, new products and process, new occupation and skill, or leisure, development of private interest, improve transport, exploration and discovery, it give birth to trade, cultural contract, travel, new products, And this is how the next step is growth in education. Growth in education. It needs teachers and students, increased scholarship, science and speculation, needs of researcher is addressed, new ideas and knowledge are being taught and discussed, growing ability to learn and assimilate new knowledge, then life expectancy increase. All these factors leads to increase of life expectancy. Longer and more diverse career did in old age. You see, in previous years, we see people are just retired and they take the legal life. Now after retirement, people are taking themselves as entertainers. Okay, they are taking new career from their post-retirement life. And this happens only life expectancy is increased and longer and more diverse careers are available. For example, we'll be establishing of seeing what a retired person can undertake. For we people, those who are in knowledge business, content writing, you might be heard of content writing. Content writing is a field where an intelligent person, a knowledge worker, can shift his career to and social welfare provision and lead of agencies and clients. To manage all these factors and information growth needs agencies and clients. We are agencies for information and our user in libraries are client. And all these factors I just talked about are pressure and consequent demand for information. Then next one is power shift. Power shift. You see, there was before 200 years, it was the colonial power. It was the colonial power where they say the sun in the British Empire never set. Okay, the sun in the British Empire never set. Means throughout the world there is there is British Empire almost in all the continents there are British Empire and British colonies. But after information revolution, only information rich countries they became the powerful, not the colonial. For example, you you might be seeing in the world where Netherlands is a very teeny country. And Elsevier in Amsterdam is a publisher. Okay, you see in 2019, Elsevier as publisher generated revenue of 2.64 billion pound. You see, okay, it employs it employs runs to 8,100 databases runs to Scopus Science Direct Extra and it has 5 lakh articles annually added in its databases in 2,500 journals, 17 million documents and 40,000 e-books. You see, Elsevier is in publication business, dealing with information, dealing with data, dealing with databases, okay, and in contact with learned people, you people, students, teachers, researchers. It does not involve itself in administration. It does not involve itself in any business. Merely information service in a corporate way. You see, and Netherlands become powerful in uh, European, powerful of European countries because of LCDR. Okay, in information network related concept, in network related concept, we might be, we have discussed that it is the network and information that made non-resource into value-added economic resources. In this network concept is associated with information and knowledge such as data, facts, intelligence, know-how, skill, experience, and wisdom. Okay. And we'll be now discussing data, information, and knowledge. Okay. What do you understand by data? Data, information, knowledge, and wisdom are product of the mind that are acquired and perfected. Okay. Data, information, and knowledge are thus interchangeably used with. You may see the characteristics of an interrelationship of data and information and well knowledge. Data is usually an observed fact or obtained something. For example, you are undertaking a research, you are undertaking a subject, you will definitely make a questionnaire for obtaining your data. Against the questionnaire, what you obtain is data. Against your questionnaire, what you observe is data. And out of your survey and observation, what you obtain, that is data. Each have value with reference to studies on specific subject. Okay, specific subject. You see, what is data? Anything given or obtained, that is data. Data has no intrinsic meaning itself. Okay, Harris in 1969, the lowest level of known fact is data has no intrinsic meaning. Inherent meaning is not with data. Data have to be, data represent unstructured facts. However, no inherent meaning. They are important because they are the raw material for creation of it. If it is used context-wise, then it has value. Otherwise, data has no meaning at all. For example, for forward 40, Bhubaneswar 43, and Kotak 42. What do you understand by that? Forward 40, Kotak 42, Bhubaneswar 43. Unless it is known whether it is temperature or COVID infection uh, population. So, Bargad 40, Bhubaneswar 43 or Cuttack 42 has no meaning. So, 42, 43 and 40 has no meaning without it is associated with some something like COVID, temperature or any other bigger. Okay, data information and knowledge. This is how information is obtained through processed data. When information is processed, it is data. The storage, retrieval, and processing of data becomes an essential resource for all economic and social exchange. What happens in computer database? Data collection of data becomes record. Collection of records become a file, and what is data? And data, when it is aggregated, it becomes a database. Collection of information It is organized so that information can be easily accessed, managed, and updated. It becomes a database. But our study is to distinguish what is data, what is information, and what is knowledge. A generalized information is that data is raw material, information is intermediate. Intermediate. When it is processed, it becomes yarn, and knowledge is finished product. When the yarn becomes flow. But it is a general context for illustration purpose only. When you are going to make cloth, it is the cotton, raw material, and data. Yarn is information and raw processed thing, and cloth is final product. But when we are going to make a suit, in this case, cloth is the raw material data. In this way, data is building block of information and information is the building block of knowledge. You might be seeing, you might be heard of DIKW, data, information, knowledge, and wisdom pyramid. It is not new. It has been popularized by T.S. Eliot. Okay, T.S. Eliot was a British poet and novelist who gave DIKW pyramid or model first. You see, data are facts, signal, and symbol. When it is structured, it becomes information. When the information applied to action with an expert insight, it becomes knowledge. And knowledge, what is this? It is contextual information, what is knowledge? It is procedural information, that is knowledge. It is propositional knowledge is something, that is knowledge. Or knowledge is a thought in the individual's mind which is considered by one's justifiable belief that is true. If somebody is thinking, if somebody idea over something is what, that is also knowledge. For example, there is philosophical idea that God exists. That is also knowledge, philosophy and epistemology. Okay. And what is wisdom? When knowledge is evaluated, okay, evaluated, when knowledge is gained through understanding, through ages and experience, it becomes knowledge. Okay. Then a model is there, Fritz McLeod. Fritz McLeod, a well-known scholar in this field, who say that information is a process, a flow of message, involve act of telling, of being told, and knowledge is a state. You see, information is a flow. What is say? McLeod. Fritz McLeod say information is a flow, but knowledge is a state. It's organized state. And there are differences little bit. Knowledge is a state of stocking where information is a flow. Because processed data is information. Okay. And in case of creating new knowledge, process of data towards information is a continuous activity. Okay. We further distinguish between information and knowledge that information is piecemeal, fragmented, and particular. It is not structured, whereas knowledge is structured, coherent, often enduring and has significance of its own. Information is timely, transitory, perhaps even ephemeral. What do you mean by ephemeral? Ephemeral means that has a short life. Okay, you might have studied of ephemeral document. Okay, your journal are, journal are embodied knowledge for a longer time, and your magazines are ephemeral document. I mean, it is made for a particular month. Okay, like that. Information is timely, transitory, perhaps even piecemeal, and ephemeral, whereas knowledge is a stock, largely resulting from a flow input of information. This is how McLeod told us that information is a flow of message, but knowledge may affect the stock of knowledge by adding to it. Okay, knowledge as stock, another another building block, another building block is added to that. Okay, in case of library, in library parlance, stock of libraries are built up on the basis of needs of user and not upon the judgment made on them. Although we do recognize outdated, obsolete, unused information or knowledge building collection, in general parlance of library, distinguishing data, information, and knowledge may not come on your own. But you should know what is data, what is information, and what is knowledge while serving the research scholar, while serving the scientist in your library. But our job is to recognize outdated knowledge, obsolete knowledge, unused knowledge, and information building. Okay. While suppose you are a librarian of a particular subject, particular field, for example, in Institute of Physics, or in Odisha University of Agriculture and Technology. After that, after serving some days, some years, there is a weeding out policy. You see, weeding out policy, WEEDING, weeding out policy. Weed means in a farm, the, the shrub who does not have the valid crop that are wheat, lotta बोला जाता है. Okay, we need to weed out, सफा करना, to clean and keep the valuable and useful knowledge only on the set. And you will find that some books are unused on your set. Okay, some books are outdated, some books are obsolete. For example, a particular volume has third edition and it has also 14th edition. Do you think we should keep both the edition on the shelf? No, because both the artifact contains knowledge. Both the artifacts, both the books contain knowledge. One is obsolete, the third edition is obsolete, and the 14th edition is new one. Okay, in this way, our jobs comes. Okay, and libraries, data and information, the libraries and data, information and knowledge, it can be distinguished, distinguished in relation to education, training, skill and development, government, business, industry and business, mass communication. We see in mass communication, government business, education training, and industry business, what is data, what is information, and what is knowledge. In case of mass communication, who deals with current affairs, events, activities, and personalities, who are mass communication people, news agencies, newspaper, broadcasting, TV station, audiovisual cassette production units, etc. Who are the person? Editors, reporters, content writers, column writers, production staff, and disseminator. For them only, for mass communication people, data are on share, weather, and current thing what is happening present day. That is only their data. What is information for them? News analysis, newspaper articles, okay, in interview, that is information for. What is knowledge for them? Consolidated report, press information report, TV broadcasting, specialized reporter, information for media person or media communication. In case of industry and business people, their work is production, trade and commerce. Who are the people dealing with industrialists, technologists, economists, finance specialists, legal and regulatory staff, etc. What they mean by data? For them, data are internal and external marketing items, sales, finance, and competitions. If somebody is in share market, what is the growth of share is data for them. What is information for them? Articles, annals, reports, brief, and digest are information for them. And what is knowledge for them? Consolidated technical report, white papers, regulatory documents are knowledge for them. Then we come to government for all developmental activities with the goal of establishing welfare state. Government's job is to establish welfare state, looking after the betterment of the people, serving of people. Okay, who are the person in government? They are executives, parliamentarians, judges, bureaucrats, technocrats, specialists, and administrators. Okay, what is data for them? What is information for them? What is knowledge for them? All government data with reference to development is related to them. Okay, what is information for them? Articles, reports, analysis are information for them. And what is knowledge for them? Consulted technical report, white papers, policy documents, plans reports, these are for them. And now, education, training, and skill development. This is our chapter. Okay, it deal, it is. Who are they? School, colleges, university, professional institution, R&D establishment. Okay, and who are the person? Students, teachers, teaching and guiding people, researchers, R&D people, and publishers. All are under education, training, skill department. What is data from us? Science, technology, social abstracts, and original are data from us. Okay, what is information for us? Guide, handbooks, manuals, articles are information for us. What is knowledge for us? Textbook, monograph, treatise, and reference material, knowledge us. Okay, this is how all the core sectors like mass communication, industrial business, government sector, education and training, we connote different meaning for different people. Okay, this is the first chapter. This is how oh, we may shift to data, definition types, nature, properties, scopes, etc. Okay, co-data. Co-data means committee on data in America. Committee on data for science and technology that defines data as crystallized presentation of the essence of scientific knowledge in the most accurate form. Anything given or anything obtained, what we studied in previous 20 minutes, that are not data. According to co-data, means committee of data on science and technology. Only crystallized presentation of the essence of specific scientific knowledge in the most accurate form is data. If data does not have each quality, crystal clearness, it does not give us the essence of study, then it cannot be data. Okay. In economics, for example, or demography, for example, heavily quantitative materials of observation are required. But in case of sociology, it is qualitative data of data. Okay. Then data in types of data in science and technology. Types of data in science and technology. Data one is data with reference to time factor, data with reference to location factor, data with reference to mode of generation, data with reference to nature of qualitative value, data with reference to terms of expression, data with reference to mode of presentation. These are types of data in science. Okay, let us go one by one. Data with reference to time factor. Under these two types of data, time independent data and time dependent data. The terms refer to data which can be measured repeatedly. What can be measured repeatedly is a time independent. For example, data in geoscience and astronomy, geological structures, rocks, fixed stars, etc. are time independent data. Time dependent data are measured only once. Okay, contains geographical or cosmological phenomena like volcanic eruption, solar flares. Likewise, data pertaining to rare fossils are time-dependent data. Second is data with reference to location factor.
class is over. सर आपनकर म्यूट अछि टिके म्यूट टा ये करिवे म्यूट अछि आपनकर हेलो
हेलो
हां हेलो
हेलो
हां से
सर
सर को टिके हां सर हेलो से सर पहले को गोटे मिनिट टिके वेट करते प्रॉब्लम अछि नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम सर को टिके गोटे मिनिट टिके
हेलो
हां सर हां ओके सर कौन सर हां ओके सर रिमोट है सर कौन आपण जॉइन करछन पुनी लेफ्ट जाउछन नले आपण कंप्यूटर रे करनांती कंप्यूटर एथर हे जिवो किछ असुविधा नै आउ थरे सब लॉग आउट करिकरी आपण स्टार्टिंग रु जेंति करथिले हां ओके सर
Okay.
ओके सर
Hello.
हां सर
ठीक.
कौन की
हाँ.
ठीक है
हाँ. And ठीक है. And we'll now discuss some data with reference to location. Location, it is again of two type. One is location independent data and location dependent data. Location dependent data are dependent of location with of objects measured. These are data on pure physics and chemistry. All it is always location dependent data. And location independent data, for example, data on rocks are always location dependent. Third is data with reference to mode of generation. These are three types. A, primary, B, derived, and third, theoretical data. In case of primary, it is gained by experiment of observation. Okay, this is designed for measurement. For example, values of velocity derived by measuring length and time is primary data. Derived data or reformatted data. The data are derived by combining several primary data added by theoretical model. Some data are gathered, and if it is presented in a theoretical model, this is called derived or reformatted data. And C is theoretical data or predicted data. Okay. For example, solar eclipse. Prediction of solar eclipse are theoretical or predicted data. In this case, data with reference to nature and qualitative value, this comes to fourth point. Under this, there are two things. two classes. One is determinable data and second is stochastic data. Okay, determinable data is assumed to take definite value under a given condition. It denotes a quantity. Okay, but in case of stochastic data, it takes fluctuating value for each new sample. Okay, for example, geosciences. In geosciences, more data are stochastic. Every time you take a measurement, a new sets of data will get. Then fifth, data with reference to term of expression. One is quantitative data, second is semi-quantitative, and third is qualitative data. In case of quantitative data, it is physical science. In physical science, quantitative data are available. In case of semi-quantitative data, for example, in case of biology, classification of organism and other thing. For example, you put a question in your questionnaire and yes or no. If it is yes or no comes, then it is semi-quantitative data. You can make them 0 or 1 in case of your uh, manipulation purpose in a particular software. C is qualitative data. This is definitive statement. You cannot get here 1, 2, 3, etc. Only qualitative statement are available there. And sixth, data with reference to mode of presentation. How data is presented here is discussed. Which are numerical data that gives you a numerical value, then graphical data, for example, charts, maps, all these are graphical data. Okay, and symbolic data. Symbolic data pertains, for example, now you are using emoji in your mobile. Okay, WhatsApp. All these are symbolic data. Okay, in weather presentation, these things are also presented. For example, if summer is hot, then some new emoji, okay, who is feeling very heat will be presented in map. Then we come to types of data in social science. Types of data in social science are data with reference to social scale of measurement, data with reference to continuity, data with reference to characteristics, and data with reference to time, and data with reference to characteristics. In this case, we will go for first thing, data with reference to scale of measurement. Okay. Again, it is of four kinds: nominal data, ordinal data, interval data, and ratio data. Nominal data is, for example, you assigned a classification number to a journal in its arrangement. Okay, this is nominal. Okay, its place does not make it fixed. Nominally, it is assigned. Tomorrow, if it is a bound volume, the number may be different. It is nominal. Ordinal data, ordinal data represents 1, 2, 3 like that. Okay, this number cannot rank a different category. Okay, does not go for a category. For example, ordinal data is obtained. For example, in your questionnaire, if you going to fix a rank, we are making, for example, if we are using an app, suddenly a cookie will appear and they will ask you for rank their application. 2 star, 4 star, 3 star, 5 star, like that. If it is 5, that does not mean it is the rank. They will get the number 5 for their uh, own benchmarking value. It does not mean 5 means its rank is 5. Okay. So interval data. Interval data or category of data, it makes difference between various category. Okay. Like grade. Interval data grade. For example, uh, from a student who is securing mark 90 to 100, that is A plus grade, 80 to 90 A grade, like that. These are interval data. And ratio data are another example of measuring involving weight, distance, price, like that. Okay. Weight is to this, distance is to this, price is to this, like that. Okay. Second is data with reference to continuity. One is continuous data, second is discrete data. Discrete data. Continuous data means, for example, it is continuous in the sense height of a student in class. Okay. It is not discrete. It is continuous. Okay. It may vary to student to student and start from 4 feet maybe, 4 feet 5 inch maybe, 6 feet maybe, or like that. Okay. Or 5 feet point something maybe. It is continuous data. In case of discrete data are finite and potential, countable set of value. For example, if somebody asks you what is the number of your book in library, you cannot tell them we have 2000.2 books. Okay, it should be discrete and complete. For example, how many students are coming to your library? You cannot tell 250.3. Okay, or 250, you can tell that. Third is data with reference to number of characteristics. Characteristics are involved in this factor, like univariate, bivariate, and multivariate. Variate, faceted. Okay. Here, in univariate, one type of data is required. That is, for example, performance student of a given class. Okay. Bivariate data is two variation is there. Two characteristics are there. One is height, weight of a particular class of people, of a class of student. Multivariate data, it is more than two variation, more than two observation, more than two characteristics are there, or 3+ characteristics are there. Like, for example, in social science, family size, income, savings, all these are in a sociological studies are meant. Fourth is the data with reference to time. Data with reference to time, it has also time series data, cross-sectional data. Two things. Time series data recorded in a chronological order are time series data. For example, time series data means you acquired books in your library in 2010-11 this much, 2011-12 this much, 2012-13 this much, 2018-19 this much. This is time series data. Okay. For example, you have to analyze all this data in time series because we have collected data in chronological order. B is cross-sectional data. This data of the same unit for different unit. This refers to data of same unit or for different units at a point of time. ଗୋଟିଏ ସମୟରେ କେତେ ପ୍ରକାର ଡେଟା ସେ ଚାହୁଁଛନ୍ତି. This is cross-sectional data and it affects different section. For example, data across sections of people, data across different religion, data across the different region and segments. These are cross-sectional data. Fifth is data with reference to origin. Okay. Data is of origin in two kinds. One is direct market survey. Okay. And second is available in a document. Continuous data is available in market survey and secondary data is available in reports, journals, books, data monograph. These are secondary data. You can get sitting in your library, get in your journal, get in your magazine. But for continuous data, you have to have a market survey. Then sixth is data reference to characteristics. One is qualitative, another is quantitative. These are discussed already. So let us go for nature and properties of data. Okay. Nature and properties of data. Data types in social science again. These are numerical, graphic, all these are discussed. Important is properties of data. Let us see property of data. What should be the quality of data? Okay. We gather data in many ways, by observation, by making market survey, by going through the documents. Okay. But what should be the properties of data or quality of data? For example, properties of data refers to various definition of data discussed earlier that it can be categorized into broader four. One is amenable to use. Second is clarity. Third is accuracy. And fourth is quality of being essence of the matter. Let us see amenability to use. Okay. For the dictionary meaning of data, it is learned that data are facts used in deciding something. In short, data are meant to be used as a base for arriving a conclusion and inference. Okay. So, if data is not suitable for use, that means amenability. A reference or inference cannot be drawn. So the primary characteristics or properties of data is amenability to use. Amenability to use means suitability for use. Second is clarity. Clarity means data obtained must be clear. Okay. Any communication, any desired communication must not be hidden with the obtained data. Third is accuracy. Data must be accurate and must necessarily be accurate if valid conclusions are be given. In computer science, you might be heard of GIGO, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. That means if input is garbage, then the product will be also garbage. And in case of data is also, if data is not accurate, not real, not complete, then the inference you draw based on the use of those data are of false, not correct, not have a accurate value. Then essence, large quantity of data are collected in social science and cannot be presented, nor it is necessary to present them in that form. Okay, and they have to be refined. In case of science, most data you collect are numerical in value, but in case of social science, it does not happen. Okay, most of the data are qualitative data, not numerical. So you have to make it refined. Okay, you have to make it refined. Then aggregation. Okay, all those four we discussed that enability to use, clarity, accuracy, and essence. Okay, data should have characteristics of clarity, accuracy, essence, and amenable for use. Besides this, data should have another three quality. One is aggregation, another is compression, and third is refinement. Okay, the data must be suitable for use. It must be aggregated. It must have the value of summation. Okay. Second is compression. Okay. If a large amount of data is collected, it cannot be handled. It cannot be processed on your table. So data can be compressed also, and after compression, it should have the quality of manageable size. Manageable size. That's how it go for amenability to use. Then refinement. What we talked about earlier, essence like thing. Data are capable of leading to conclusion or even generalization. Okay, you might be heard of inductive and deductive logic. Okay, data should have the quality from which an inference should be drawn. It can be conclusive on a particular situation or should have the quality of generalization also. Then scope of data. Scope of data. This shows us that what library can do with. We in library mainly deal with secondary data. We in library mainly deal with secondary data. You do not confuse with information. We can deal with primary source of information, secondary source of information, tertiary source of information. But in case of data, we are in a position to deal with secondary source of data. Earlier I told that data available through market survey is first-hand data or primary data. And those what are available in book format, journal format, or document format, they are secondary data. So when we in library sorry, deal with books, journal, and embodied thought, we always deal with secondary data. This is scope of data for us. This is how all your two chapters over. And third is, should we go? Third is information, definition, types, natures, and scope. Okay. Let us move forward. Okay. What is information? Information, we earlier talked that this is processed data is information. If we see the spectrum of data or knowledge spectrum, where we find information, knowledge, data, and wisdom can be reviewed as a part of continuum with no clear boundaries between them. Okay, you see, if a reader is coming to library, he cannot say that he is coming to library for a collection of data. He cannot say he is coming to library for sake of information. He cannot say he is coming to library for knowledge, because the boundary of data, information, and knowledge is very thin, and it is overlapping also. Okay, this is how data, information, and knowledge are interchangeably used by the scholars also. Okay, let us see some information theory. The theory, information theory of Balkin, Raging and Neveling, Brooks. Okay, then Bells, McLeod. I'm just touching the important one. You go for Balkin's theory of information. Balkin's theory of information, in an elaborate study of the information concept of information science, Balkin makes a distinction between definition and concept. you see two things. Okay, Balkin, when studying information science, comes to make distinction between definition and concept. Okay, the distinction is while definition presumably defines the phenomenon. Definition, what does it do? It defines a phenomenon. Okay, but concept try to interpret the concept. But concept try to interpret the phenomenon. One is definitional thing, another is interpretation thing. Okay. Like that, Balkin makes three postulational approach. One is utility, another is phenomenon, or third is concept or context. Okay. Information should have utility. It should be a phenomenon, and information should be contextual, maybe definitional, maybe conceptual. Okay. Then Raging and Neveling, they provide the theory that information much more comprehensively, they define that 6 different approach through 6 different approach. One is structural approach, second is knowledge approach, third is message approach, fourth is meaning approach, fifth is effect approach, sixth is process approach. Structural approach means matter approach, matter oriented. It should be perceived. The data should be, information should be perceived as object. Second is knowledge approach. It means perception can be made of the information. Third is message approach. Information should have quality For communication, it can be communicated. And meaning approach means the message can be accepted as information. Okay. Information can be transferred and it should be accepted. Accepted means meaning is understood in the information by the recipient. Fifth is effect approach. Means it should be you should have specific effect of a process when the information is used. And sixth is process approach. For example, it occurs in the human mind when a problem and useful data are brought together. It should be the process. And what Brooks, who made study of information theory that if in a primary block of information, another block of information is added, it must be modified. It must have the suitability or the capacity to modify the previous information wherein it is added. Suppose in information A B block is added, it should be AB. It should not assimilate into A only. Okay. In Bell's approach, who previously also told that information obtained through processing of data. Bell's approach is all that. And Fritz McCulloch, an Australian economist who defined and distinct information and knowledge in two things. Earlier we discussed that information is piecemeal, fragmented, where knowledge is structured. Information is timely, transitory, and ephemeral, where knowledge is stock and largely resulted from the flows. Information is flow of message and knowledge is stock of knowledge by adding to it. Okay. All these are theories of information. Then information types. Information types wherein the Shannon-Weaver model is important one, where source, channel, media, information needs, and recipient are important. Source, this is communicating messages. Channel refers to established carrier, where information is carried to, and media are the physical media. Information needs, that is type of information that are normally communicated, and recipient, this is the ultimate receiver of information, who are the people who also next generate the information. Okay. Then he also, then by channel, we can go to literature. In case of literature, primary, secondary, and tertiary literature are there. Their characteristics are one. In case of primary literature, characteristics should be new, original, and new interpretation of known facts and ideas. For example, these are research reports and journal articles. Second, unrecognized and unrelated, each unit being a separate. For example, conference paper, proceedings, official publication, etc. Third is information is widely scattered. Example is thesis, dissertation, project reports, etc. Fourth of primary information is unassimilated into the general body of knowledge. For example, it are unassimilated, unstructured. For example, diaries, memos, correspondence, personal files, modern blogs also are example of unassimilated knowledge. Secondary information. One is information derived from primary sources, for example, bibliographies, current awareness, bulletin. Second is organized and arranged according to definite plan. Secondary information is, for example, indexing, extracting a journal, reviews, state of the art report. State of the art report is also example of secondary information. Then scattered information collected, for example, reports, progress, advances, etc. Fourth is repositories of assimilated and digested knowledge. For example, reference books, dictionaries, encyclopedias. These are repositories of assimilated and digested knowledge. Fifth is bibliographical key to primary literature. Directories are example of repositories of assimilated and bibliographical key of primary literature. Third is tertiary information. Tertiary information characteristics are: one, compilation of primary and secondary sources. For example, bibliographies of bibliography, yearbooks. These are compilation of primary and secondary sources. Then organized and arranged according to definite plan. These are directories, list of research in progress, guidance to literature. Third is add to searching primary and secondary sources. These are information sources, organization, human resource. Human resources are also tertiary information system. Then we talked about by channel disease, information channel, primary, secondary, and tertiary. Then information institution. Information institution are library, documentation and information centers, information analysis center, and like that. These institutions, they collect, process, analyze, disseminate all the three types of literature mentioned above. Distribution agencies. Distribution agencies are booksellers, subscription agents, aggregators, clearinghouse, information broker, and other people. While information institutions are essentially agencies involving the provision of information service with reference to a specific clientele, distribution agencies and are largely commercial agencies. They are selling their information to libraries, documentation centers, and other institutions like that. Then information by media. By media means person to person, oral and recorded, two types of media. In oral, it is person to person, one to many, and many to many. In case of recorded media, this is paper, print, microform, audio, audio visual, visual, electronic, and digital. In, with the characteristics of recipient, types of information by recipient, it is individual, it is group, it is organization, it is institution. And information needs, this is very vital thing for information, as it is always just with the recipient only. By standard it is three. One is popular, scientific, and technical. By types also it is three. One is know why, know how, and show how. Know why information, easily transferable it is. Okay, readily accessible in the numbers of secondary tool database. Know how information, less easy to transfer. It is scientific one. And technical one is show how. Show how always need a operational skill, maintenance and control capability. It depends upon learner, not the sender, not the information imparter. It purely depends upon the learner only. Then information properties, information properties can be like, in general sense, it is not consumed when it is used. Information is never consumed when it is used. It cannot be finished when it is used, never be consumed. Rather, it will be useful to consume it. Second, it can be shared, and it can be shared simultaneously to one and to many. Still, it would not lapse. Okay. Then it is most democratic. Information property is most democratic. It can be consumed by all, shared by all. And fourth is knowledge is dynamic. Knowledge is dynamic. Information is dynamic because there is no a complete boundary. There is no a final say that all this is written is final, because upon that still there is study is going on. Upon that still there is research is going on. Upon that still study is going on. New study, new phenomenon are added on. Okay, then we'll see the barrier of information. Barrier to information means, in case of transfer of information from one to another, what are the barrier? One is language, another is media, third is pollution or noise, second is economic, political or legal barrier. For example, first is language. From man to man, person to person, this is the barrier is neolinguism. Neolinguism means neo, N-E-O, L-O-G-I-S-M, neologism. Neologism means new words or old word is expressed with new meaning. If it is not known to the target person, the information cannot be shared. The neologism is a barrier to information. Then man to machine. In case of man to machine, synonym, antonym must be there. Otherwise, the machine cannot understand a particular word. Second is media. From multiplicity of sources and seepage and scatter. Okay. Where in case of media, this is comprehension, perception, and misunderstanding is the barrier. In case of pollution, as barrier, primary paper, propaganda is barrier, or rehearse. Rehearse means writings or speech that used old idea as if they were new. What is rehearse? Rehearse means using old ideas as new, means rehearse. Okay. Rehearse or pollution for information propagation. Okay. In case of then economic, political, and legal barriers, we do not come from all same background. We have economic difference, political difference, and political difference means we possess different ideas of in politics, and legal barriers. Legal barriers mean copyright issue. All these are barriers to information. Okay. Then scope of information. Scope of information is can be studied with the 5 laws of information. These 5 laws of library science, where books are for use. In this case, information are for use. Okay. Every user, his her book. In case of book, the word information is replaced. This is how your chapter 3 is over. Okay, thank you.